Hey, welcome. My name is OJ Kenyatte Johnson, and this is The Black Moor. Thank you for choosing to take a look at the video today, for logging in, taking a look here. Today, what I want to talk about is just some of my classic books. These are authors or professors or historians that I feel set the standard for us. They've been a big influence on my life. And I want to just kind of give you guys a couple of names. Definitely not all the different books that they have or anything, but some of the stuff that's just meant a lot to me. These are historians that, have really opened my eyes. I feel like we're in a real life matrix. I think we might do a video about that one day, but there's a scene in the Matrix where Neo wakes up and he sees reality, like it really is. And he tells Morpheus, hey, why do my eyes hurt? And Morpheus tells him, because you've never used them before, right? I feel that these historians and authors that I'm going to share with you now, these are the ones that kind of really opened my eyes to the light, helped me come out of my sleep or my slumber, right? I feel like I took the pill to awaken if it was a Matrix movie. So let's just jump right into it. The first author that really opened my eyes is a guy by the name of J.A. Rogers. Now, granted, let me first start off. These guys, the people that I'm going to show you real quickly here today, these are the standard. Like, you can pick up any book by any one of them. Just Google their names. Pick a book. I don't care what book. Pick any of them because they all hot. They all fire. They all dope. Now, I will tell you, they're a lot older. These books are old because I've had these for probably over 30 years myself, and they were written prior to that, some of them. But again, these are standards that I don't care what generation. If you want to learn the true history of Black people around the world, these are some of the historians you got to start with, okay? So first off, again, let's start with J.A. Rogers. First book I was ever introduced is to this book. Now, my books, as you can probably see, I kind of got them in, a lot of them in plastic casing, like you get at like the library, because I wanted to keep them, healthy or standard good or whatever. And this happens to be a book. Listen, my parents bought this for me back in Christmas of 1990. If you can see that, that was autographed by my parents. I was like 19 years old. Wow, that's crazy. So J.A. Rogers, this book here is called Sex and Race. And the whole book deals with Black people and how, our relationship with other people around the world throughout time. So it talks about the Moors. This particular book, though, this first one, it's a 3-volume book. The first book, the first page you turn to, right? What's her name? Megan Margulies or what have you, that married, I think she married Prince Henry. I think that's the one she married, right? And it made all the news about, this Black woman is going to be into the royal family. Oh my God, was that the first? And then you find out she wasn't the first Black person in the royal family, but it was Queen Charlotte Sophia. Right, I learned this back in probably 88 when I got introduced to this book, and this is a picture of her back then. So I was still in high school, and I was like, what? There's Black people in the royal family? What is going on? But it starts talking, listen, I'll talk to you about, you guys might not have known that Alexander Dumas, who is the author of The Three Musketeers, was a Black man, right? He also wrote... drawing a blank. The other book about the guy that was captive, I forgot the name of it, y'all, but famous books. But these are Black authors. Nobody knew about this, right? This one's J.A. Rogers. Another one by J.A. Rogers is The World's Great Men of Color. This is a 2-volume book. Again, you must have this. This talks about not all, but a ton of great ancient African Black men. Right, and it doesn't matter if Africa and Asia, all over the world, you gotta check out World's Great Men of Color. This is 2 volumes. Some of these covers have changed over the years, so it may not even look the same. But again, this book, you can see I got stuff highlighted, and can you even see that? It talks about Imhotep. Right, y'all don't know who Imhotep is? Check that out. That's the first man that built the step pyramid in Egypt, or Kemet, right? Also, in Hotep, you may not know this, but when a doctor takes the Hippocratic oath, that oath was based on Hotep. Hippocratic says that his God is in Hotep, who taught him. He's like the king of medicine is in Hotep. He was the world's first multi-genius. So medicine, archaeology, all kinds of stuff, man. This guy is dope. Tutmosis the Third, right? We've got Panky, one of the other pharaohs of Africa, Hannibal. Listen, if y'all don't know about Hannibal, they always try to whitewash Hannibal. But that brother took like, I don't even know how many, 100 and something war elephants and thousands of black Africans over the Alps in the snow and marched down on the Romans and gave them hell. You got to know about Hannibal. I ain't talking about the movie Hannibal. Then you got black people in Asia. Talks of Bilal. Talks about just a ton of other people all across, and then you've got in ancient Africa, talks about the Sunni Empire, Mansa Musa, world's richest man. Y'all don't even know about that. Listen, you want to talk about interracial relationship? You ever heard of the Queen of Sheba? Go check out the Queen of Sheba. That's in the Bible, y'all. It's in the Bible. One of the world's first documented or publicized interracial relationships. Go check that one out. So that's J.A. Rogers. Another one, great one here, is George G.M. James, Stolen Legacy, y'all. You can't go wrong with Stolen Legacy. You want to know about real Egyptian spirituality and how Greek people came over to Egypt as students, but then copied the African learning and then regurgitated back to the world in Greek philosophy and claimed it for themselves. But they weren't the originators of that, okay? It came from ancient Egypt first. This whole book is about that, Stolen Legacy. Again, George G.M. James. You can't go wrong with any of there. Next one, real quick, is, I don't even know if I'm pronouncing this one right, y'all. Cheikh Anta Diop, Cheikh, Anta, A-N-T-A, and then Diop, D-I-O-P. This is the African origin of civilization, myth and reality. Again, classic. You can't go wrong with this book. I think that's a picture of Tutmosis III, another great African pharaoh, okay, who was black. Don't whitewash my Egypt, okay? But check this one out as well. Classic. You can still find that. Another one here. Let's go with this one. Another great historian that you can't go with. You should always start off with John Henrik Clarke. Can't go wrong with that man. Anything he produces, anything he's ever written. He's passed away now, departed, but he's laid back or left behind a lifetime of work for us to study and to take to the next level. Right. This particular book is a combination. It's a book about lectures from John Henrik Clarke, Dr. John Henrik Clarke, and Dr. Yusuf bin Yohanan, which Dr. Ben, again, you can't go wrong with anything from Dr. Ben, Dr. Yusuf bin Yohanan. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Again, I apologize. I don't know. But I just know this man has meant a lot to me. This particular book, though, is From the Nile Valley to the New World, Science, Invention, and Technology, New Dimensions in African History. You can't go wrong with that one. You can't go wrong with that one. That one's going to give you so much. It's going to talk to you about, listen, before there was ever an Adam and Eve, the black man had already created the calendar. Y'all got the myth, but we got the reality, right? Okay, I'm rambling, but check it out. Don't just trust me because I'm saying it. Go check it out. Now, on the same line of Dr. Yusuf bin Yohanan, this guy's changed my life. I got more of his books by the side of my bed that's been there for 30 years. I'm going to show you just a couple of the classic ones that I keep. These are my research books. They're written in a way that you can write college papers, you can debate your professors with them and have all the documents and the facts on it, but it's also easy for just the layman to read, right? The great thing, though, also is that it's not from a Euro-centric point of view. Dr. Ben talks about everything being from an Afrocentric point of view. So let me explain that real quickly. So we use words for simplicity, right? We use terms like Egypt, But that is the European word that they called the land later on, right? Egypt. Black people, we never called it Egypt. Right? We called it a couple of different names, but one of them was like Kemet, Sais, things of that nature, right? But traditionally, for us to use that name, that's not even the true name of the land that we're talking about, but we still use that, right? The term Africa, that ain't an African name. That's a European name that was put upon us, right? So Dr. Ben talks about the original name for Africa. One of those names in that land is Akibulan, right? He goes on to all the different other countries and he teaches it from that perspective with the names. So the first book I want to show you is Africa, the Mother of Western Civilization. Oh, it's a thick one. You can see I still got papers in there. Classic. You can't go wrong with this one. One of my favorites that I just constantly have at hand with me. I might be reading this anytime during the year. This is Black Man of the Nile and His Family. Oh, pure fire, y'all. You can't. Oh, this book is fantastic. I mean, I can't even. You'll see. I'm highlighting this book. I've had this book for years. But again, it talks about the true history of so-called Egypt, Kemet, right? Fantastic. This is one you guys didn't even know this. I don't know if you know this or not, but did you know that there was actually an Upper Egypt and a Lower Egypt? Like, I didn't know. This is how they confused. Let me tell you this real quick before I go on this book. If you imagine that the Nile River goes this way, right? What I didn't know, the actual Nile River, you would think it goes down this way. It doesn't. The Nile River runs from the heart of Africa to Egypt, the Mediterranean Sea, and comes out. This is Upper Egypt. This is... Okay, so we're back. Hello, technical difficulty. Okay, so Chancellor Williams, right? Great thing about this book, there's a chapter in here, chapter 2, which is Ethiopia's oldest daughter, Egypt. Again, let me repeat that back because it's definitely a different perspective when you think about Egypt and its content to the rest of the, or relationship with the rest of the world. So again, Ethiopia's oldest daughter, Egypt. Again, that's letting you know Egypt came out of Africa. It was produced and spawned from Africans in the heart of Africa and followed the river 4,100 miles long down to the Mediterranean Sea. You gotta check this book out. Classic, but talks about, you want to again learn about ancient Egyptian history, Black history, all the different empires that have risen and fallen in Africa. This is a great book. Again, Chancellor Williams, Destruction of Black Civilization. Can't go wrong with that one. I think that is the ones that I had for you guys. Again, I don't know. Earlier I was, hey, just Seize the Time. I read Seize the Time by Bobby Seale every few years, just because I love the book. They're from the Bay Area. It started in Oakland, California. Great read. But anyway, so those are some of the authors that I love to use, the basis of where I really started my education and kind of, I'm going to call it my awakening, when I just kind of woke up from my slumber and started realizing, the real true history of Black people, our history here in America and our history around the world, right? And again, if there's any way we're ever going to end racism, again, if that's what we're trying to do, if we're ever going to try to end racism, first off, we got to start telling the truth. We got to start telling the truth. Number two, we got to be open to learning. We can't keep telling the same negative stereotypes and narratives that we've had before, right? Black people didn't wait in darkness for Europeans to come bring the light of civilization. We weren't some backward ass monkeys. We didn't wait for some Tarzan, some European dude to come into Africa and save all the animals from all the crazy Africans. And he wasn't the baddest, mother on the planet or in Africa. None of these myths about Black people are true, right? And then when you take that to the modern era, we're not all drug dealers, gangbangers, and, pimps and prostitutes or whatever kind of bullshit, excuse my language, that they want to portray us on. Come learn the true history. Come start off with these historians. Pick any book by them. Google their names, any of that. You can't go wrong. All right. I hope this was meaningful. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you got a little education on this one. Definitely put your comments down below. Hit share, hit like, whatever you can do to kind of support the cause and support the community we're trying to grow here. Other than that, I hope you guys are being safe while you lock down because of the SARS scare, or excuse me, because of the coronavirus scare. Did I say SARS? Coronavirus scare. They got everybody locked down at home. You got time to read. Why not? Pick up a book, right? I know it ain't in fashion for people to read nowadays. Everybody got to be on the phone. Pick up a book, y'all. Let's read some true facts, all right? Hit me up, comments, share, like, what have you. All right, much love, y'all. Peace.